Okay, great. Hello. Welcome to yoga. We are just about to get started. So, yeah, do you get everything that you need? Hello. Don't worry. So I've got 3 people practicing in the room with me today, which is very exciting. I'm here at the London Buddhist Centre, and I'm being joined by Tara, who's going to be doing the tech, and also Pippa and Garbhavati, who's one of the other yoga teachers here at the centre. So how many people have we got waiting so far? 7 people. Okay, that's great. Well, welcome to everyone who's joining us. And yeah, do say hello in the chat if you'd like, and let us know where you're tuning in from. It's a bank holiday today, I believe, although not at the Buddhist Centre, but for everybody else. So yeah, if you're off work today, then yeah, well, really warm welcome. Hello. Oh, that's great. That's really, really nice. So yeah, we'll get started in just under a minute. So just make sure that you've got everything you need to practice. So your mat, and having some kind of cushion or blocks or something that functions like that will be of benefit to you today. Okay. So I think we'll make a start, and then those of you who are sneaking in at the back of the class can just join when you're ready. So yeah, it's really, really great to be here at the Buddhist Centre. So we're still running these online YouTube classes 3 times a week for yoga, and also beginning to open up the centre for in-person classes as well, very slowly, very gradually. But it's really, really nice to be practicing with you all online, continuing to practice with you. So I just wanted to say a couple of things about the kind of theme of the class, which is centered around the breath and movement. And I just wanted to clarify something as we start the class, or before we start the class, which is that in meditation, so some of you might have practiced meditation before, and you might have practiced meditating on the breath. And when we practice meditating on the breath, we're trying to develop awareness or cultivate awareness of the breath as it is in the body at that moment. So you're not trying to make yourself breathe in any particular way, not trying to make yourself breathe sort of shorter or longer. But when we practice yoga, or the way that I practice yoga and the way that I teach yoga is a little bit different. So there's a kind of gentle encouragement to regulate the breath. So we're not trying to control the breath. In a way, you sort of can't, even if you want to. That the breath will sort of do its own thing, but we can kind of gently encourage the breath to lengthen out. And I think one of the reasons that I practice yoga, and one of the benefits that I've seen, is a kind of greater lung capacity and greater sort of ability to lengthen out the breaths. And there's lots of benefits to learning how to do this sort of safely and kind of gently. So as we practice today, there will be this awareness on the breath, and I'll guide us through a short meditation to start. And I'd like you to notice the difference between I'd like you to notice the difference between bringing awareness to the breath as it is in the body, and then also bringing some conscious effort to regulating your breath. So we can start by just sitting in meditation. We'll just have a couple of minutes seated. So just finding yourself in any comfortable seat, and you can close your eyes. And just taking a moment to arrive on your mat, arrive in this seat. And just letting the mind sort of catch up with the body. You can arrive a little bit more fully into the space, into your practice. You can start to draw the awareness to the breath. And if the breath is feeling a little bit shallow, a bit short, just noticing that. And then if the breath is feeling a little bit longer, a little bit smoother, then noticing that as well. And two things might come to light, might come into your awareness. So the first thing is that no two breaths are the same. And the second thing is that with the spotlight of awareness on the breath, it might be more tempting to try and do something with the breath. So notice if you're trying to breathe. Just taking a couple more moments, following the thread of the breath. And then you can begin to introduce a little bit of conscious lengthening out. And you can focus on the lengthening out of the exhalation, particularly. So as you breathe out, there's a soft drawing back of the belly towards the spine. And then just starting to add a little bit of movement here. So as you breathe in, just lift the shoulders up towards the ears. And as you breathe out, shoulders soften down and back. And just keep going with that. So with the pace of your own breath, shoulders lift up as you breathe in and soften down as you breathe out. And this sense of letting the breath guide the movements. So seeing if you can let the apex of the movement, so the lift of the shoulders, match the apex of the in-breath, the top of the in-breath. Let's take a couple more like that. Good. And then just pausing next time the shoulders come down. Good. And then this time with the arms. So as you breathe in, you lift the arms up, circle them out to the sides if you've got space, or reach them out in front of you. And then breathing out, arms are coming down. So a few times like this, again, following the thread of your breath. The palms can touch at the top if you like. And then arms floating down as you breathe out. So starting to tune into the pace of your breath. And without strain. So if you feel like you need to breathe a little bit quicker than I am, then that's fine. Or a little bit slower, that's also fine. Good. So next time the arms are overhead, you can open your eyes. And then as you breathe out, twist towards your right-hand side. So take the left hand across, right fingertips behind you. And then breathe in, sweep the arms up. And breathe out, go the other way. Good. Breathing in, arms lifting up. And breathing out into a twist. Good. Last one, breathing in. Turn the chest around, breathing out into a twist. Lovely. Good. And then come back through center, lifting both of the arms up. Good. And then into a side bend. So left hand comes down, right arm reaches up, and then over as you breathe out. Good. And then breathe in, come all the way up through center. Breathing out, right hand comes down, lean over. Good. And then one more on each side. So breathe in, lifting the arms up. And breathing out, leaning over. So you're moving continuously here, breathing in, but it's unrushed. Yeah? Breathing out. Okay. And then come all the way up through center. Make your way over to hands and knees. Pad up the knees if you need to, and start to move through cat-cow. So that same pace of breath, lifting the chest as you breathe in, and then rounding the back as you breathe out. Good. Breathing in, looking up, chest lifting, belly dropping. And then breathing out, rounding through the spine, head relaxing. Good. Couple more like this. So again, letting the breath guide the movement. The apex of the pose matches the apex of the breath. Belly draws back as you breathe out. Good. Last one like this. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. And then come into a neutral spine. Breathing in. Good. And then let's reach the right arm forwards and the left leg back. Good. Take a breath in, stretch through the fingertips, press out through the back heel. Good. And then breathe out, hand comes to the ground, knee comes down. Nice. Other side. So breathing in, left arm goes forwards, right leg goes back. And then breathing out, hand comes down, knee comes down. We'll repeat that a couple of times. So onto the right arm, left leg, breathing in, breathing out. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Good. Breathing in, left arm, right leg. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Good. This time we'll add an elbow to knee. So breathing in, right arm, left leg. And breathing out, draw the knee towards one another. Good. Again, reaching forwards with the right arm, back with the left leg. And then breathing out, elbow to knee. Good. Hand comes down to the ground, knee comes down, other side. So breathing in, left arm reaches forwards, right leg back. And then breathing out, rounding through, elbow to knee. Good, again, reach forwards and back. And breathe out, tucking under. Nice. And then hand comes down, knee comes down, breathing in. And then tuck your toes and draw back into downward facing dog as you breathe out. A few breaths here. So spreading the fingers wide. That same pace of breath. And if you like, you can gently bicycle out the legs, so bending into one knee, then the other. So letting the breath guide the movement, but also letting the breath guide the cessation of movement. So if you feel like you need to rest at any point, if you feel like the breath is becoming a little bit ragged, then you can always just come to the ground, take child's pose. Good. Okay. So we'll come into a low level lunge from here. So step the right foot through to between the hands. Take a breath in, come onto your fingertip. And then as you breathe out, lower the left knee down towards the ground until it touches. Keep the fingertips down. Breathe in, start to straighten the back leg. Good. And then breathe out again, lower the knee down until it touches the ground. Good, couple more times with the breath. So breathing in, back leg straight. Breathing out, back knee bends. Good. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. Good. This time breathing in, straighten the leg, plant the hands. And breathing out, draw back into downward facing dog. Good. Between sides, pull forwards into plank pose as you breathe in. Rock the shoulders forwards. And then take the knees to the ground and lower everything down. Good, hands underneath the shoulders. Let's take Cobra Pose as you breathe in. So just lift the chest a little bit here. Elbows hug in. And then breathe out like a wave. Lower all the way down to the ground. 2 more times. So lifting up the chest as you breathe in. Spine is nice and long. And then breathing out to lower down. Good, last one like this. Lifting the chest as you breathe in. And lowering all the way down as you breathe out. Good. Come to hands and knees. Breathing in, tuck your toes. And then breathing out, pull back. Hands and feet down. How's the breath? Good. Looking forwards with soft knees. And then step your left foot forwards. You can help it along its way if you need to. So quite a long stance here. Come onto your fingertips. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, back knee lowers down until it touches the floor. Good. Breathing in to straighten out the back leg. And breathing out to lower down. Good. Couple more times. Breathing in. It's like you're trying to press the knee up towards the ceiling. Breathing out. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. This time, breathe in, straighten the leg, plant the hands, and step back. Downward facing dog. Spread the fingers out wide. Good. And then from there, look forwards. And then walk or step yourselves to a forward fold. At the front of the mat, feet hip distance apart. Soften the knees. And then a few times between here and Ardha Uttanasana, so halfway lift, take the hands to the shins, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. And then breathe in, breathe out, folding forwards. Relax the head. Good. Again, so coming up halfway, high enough that it feels like a little back bend. And then breathing out, folding forwards. Good, last one. Breathing in, lifting through the chest. Good. Breathing out, fold in, relax the head. Good, soften the knees even more. Roll up to standing, lift the arms, look up, breathe in. Good, and then take the hands together in front of the chest as you breathe out. Good, take a full cycle of breath here. Nice. And then release the hands, stretch the arms up as you breathe in, look up. Good, breathe out, fold. Take the hands down to the floor. Hands on shins, lift the chest as you breathe in, look up. Good, and then adding a lunge here, hands come down, right leg steps back, knee down. Good, breathing in, lift the arms up, lift the chest. Breathe out, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Good. Breathing in, come high on the tiptoes, rock to plank pose. Breathe out, knees to the mat, lower everything down. Good. Take a little back bend as you breathe in, low cobra. And then exhale, lower to the ground, tuck your toes, and press back into downward facing dog. Good, step the feet a little bit closer together. As you breathe in, lift the right leg up and back. Breathe out, step your right foot forwards, left knee down. Breathe in, lift the arms up, look up. Breathe out, hands down, step your back foot forwards. Come halfway up as you breathe in, spine gets long. And then breathe out, folding in. Relax the head. Breathe in, press the feet down, lift the arms up. Nice, straight into the next one. Fold forwards, exhale. Come halfway up as you breathe in, look up. And then breathing out, left leg back, left knee down. Good, breathing in, lift the arms, press the feet down. Breathing out, hands come down. Downward facing dog from here. Well done. Good, and then again, rock yourselves forwards, come to a high plank. And then take the knees down, lower everything to the ground. Cobra Pose from here, lifting through the chest. And then breathing out, lower down, tuck your toes. Draw back into downward facing dog, take a breath. Good, and then take the left leg up and back as you breathe in. Breathe out, step the left foot forwards. Right knee comes down. Good, inhale, lift through the arms, look up. Exhale, hands down. Step your back foot forwards. Come halfway up as you breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, lift the arms up, look up. Good, and then come to standing, hands together in prayer. Just gazing down at the fingertips. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Good, and then let's come into warrior two from here. Step the left foot back. And have the outer edge of the left foot in line with the long edge of the short edge of your mat. Bend the right knee. Take the arms out wide. Look over the front middle finger. And just settle in there for a couple of breaths. Good, so we've been moving pretty consistently for the last few minutes. Just notice what happens when you come into stillness. Good, and then let's start to move from here. So, as you breathe in, straighten the front leg, lift your arms up, look to the long edge of your mat, and then breathe out, Look forwards again, come back to warrior two. Good, a few more times. So breathing in, arms up, straighten the front leg. And then breathe out, Virabhadrasana 2. Breathing in, arms up. Breathing out, bend the front knee. Good, this time keep the arms where they are, but straighten the front leg. And then breathe out, come into triangle pose from here. You can draw the back foot slightly further in if you like. Good, and again, just notice how the breath is here. So as you start to stay, kind of linger in postures, just notice what that does to the breath. So I find it a bit more difficult to breathe in this posture. I don't know about you. But just noticing the effect of the posture on the breath. Nice, and then let's press the feet down into the ground. Come back up to warrior two, so bend through the front knee. And then reach forwards through the right arm. Right forearm comes down to right thigh. Drop the left fingertips down towards the floor. And then a few big circles. So as you breathe in, sweep the left arm forwards and up. And then as you breathe out, left fingertips go towards the left heel. So a few times, again, following the apex of the breath with the apex of the movement, so the top of the movement. Nice. Good, and then let's come into Parshva Kanasana still. So sweep the left arm forwards and then pause. So you might like to stay where you are. You might like to take the right hand down to a brick or the floor inside the front foot. Good, that back leg is nice and strong. Lovely. And then look down towards the ground. And then lift up the back heel. Take both fingertips down to the floor. So my back heel is lifted and both sets of fingertips are on the ground. Hop the back foot in a little bit. Breathe in. So you're in a kind of lunge once again. And then as you breathe out, start to straighten out your front leg. So you've got two straight legs, or straight-ish. And then again, breathing in, bend the front knee. And then breathing out to straighten. Any amount, it doesn't have to be all the way straight. Couple more times. So breathing in, lift the chest, look forwards. Breathing out. Two straight legs. Last one here. Breathe in. And breathing out. Nice, and then this time, bend into your front knee. Plant the hands down and step back. And come through downward facing dog. So we'll have a few breaths here. You can either stay where you are, or you can rock forwards, come into a plank pose, and then lower down, either to the ground or come halfway. Breathe in, come into a back bend. And breathe out, draw back, downward facing dog. Just checking in with the breath. Noticing if it feels easeful. Lovely. Okay, and then we're going to repeat the postures on the second side. So this time, step your left foot forwards and then turn and ground your right foot. Come into warrior two from there. So back leg nice and strong, arms out wide, front knee bends over front ankle. Good. And in this still posture, just notice what's happening to the breath. Good, and then when you're ready, Straighten out the front leg. As you breathe in, lift the arms. And then breathe out. Come back into warrior two. Breathing in, arms lift. Breathing out. Good. A couple more times. Again, just following the thread of the breath here. Nice. And then from there, just straighten out your front leg and then come into triangle pose from there. So reach forwards, left hand comes down, right arm lifts up, two straight legs. And again, just noticing the pace of the breath, the quality of the breath here. Good. And then when you're ready, pressing both feet down into the ground, rebend your front knee, adjust the stance if you need to, and then left forearm to left thigh, drop the right fingertips to the ground. And then as you breathe in, sweep the top arm up, and then breathe out, right fingertips reaching down. And then a couple more times, so big, big, big circles. You can follow the fingertips with your gaze if that feels okay on your neck. I'm quite wobbly on this side, I don't know if you can tell. Good, and then next time your arm comes forwards, you can pause there. So this real sense of lengthening out through the whole of your right side waist. Good, and again, just notice the breath. Good, and then look down. Hands to the ground. Back heel lifts. You can hop the back foot a little bit in. Good. And then as you breathe in, little runner's lunge. And then breathe out until your front leg gets a bit straighter. Again, breathing in, front knee bends. Breathing out, straighten the leg. Couple more times, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, this time, bend the knee, look forwards, and plant your hands down. And draw back into downward facing dog. Again, you can either stay here for a few breaths, or you can rock forwards, come to high plank, and then lower down, either halfway or come to the floor. Breathing in, coming into a back bend. And then breathing out, just meeting us in downward facing dog. Nice. Okay. So when you're ready, take the right leg up and back behind you. And then step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. So we're going to come into some hip opening poses here. So lower the left knee down towards the ground. Untuck the toes. Pad up the knee if you need to. So you might already be feeling plenty here, in which case you can stay here. So coming onto your fingertips. Front toes are turned out. Front knee is over the front ankle. Or you might find that you can bring the fingertips a little bit further forwards, or even come onto one or both forearms. But don't worry about that. Just move in a way that is sort of reasonable for your body. And then you might like to close the eyes. And you're going to take a few cycles of breath here. And just notice if there's any cues in the shape of your breath as to the posture that you're in. So if it's feeling a little bit too much, a little bit too intense, then know that you can always ease off. Okay. And then from here, we're going to come into Pigeon Pose. So start to heel toe your front foot over towards the left-hand side and draw the heel in a little bit. And then take the right knee down to the ground outside the right wrist. And I quite like to pad myself up. So pad the, in this case, the right hip up onto something like a cushion or a block. And then again, you can either stay upright or you can hinge forwards. Come onto your forearms, or depending on your range of motion, you might like to come all the way down to the ground if that's comfortable. Or not comfortable, sort of reasonable for your body. I don't know if anybody finds pigeon comfortable. And then again, you might like to close the eyes here. And it's almost as though with your breath, you're still doing half sun salutations. So that breath is still steady. Okay. And then as you're ready, just walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Ease your way out, tuck your toes, and come back into downward facing dog from there. And then just change sides. So let's step the left foot to the outside of the left wrist. And then take the right knee down to the ground, or you can pad it up if you need to. So it's quite a wide stance here. And notice how the back thigh and the torso are kind of in a straight line. So try not to let your hips pop backwards. So pressing the hips slightly forward, slightly down. You might be on fingertips here, or you might lower the forearms to the ground or walk the hands a little bit further forwards. And then again, just noticing the effect of the posture on the breath. If there is one. You might like to close your eyes, just take a couple more breaths here. Nice. And then start to heel toe that front foot over towards the right-hand side. Knee comes to the ground. Pad up your left side if you need to. And then inch your hands forwards, hinge forwards, come down. And even in the stillness here, just following the thread of the breath. Almost like you're still doing sun salutations. That's the pace that you've set. Okay. And then this time, instead of coming up through downward facing dog, if you've got something underneath your left side, just take it out. Lean over, roll onto your left hip, swing your right leg around, and then come to lie on your back. So keep the feet down flat, bend the knees. I'm going to come into a couple of moving bridge poses from here. So just pressing the feet down, have the feet around hip distance apart. You can just about touch your heels with your fingertips. And then nice and easy, as you breathe in, lift your hips up and reach your arms back. And breathe out. Lower everything back down. The spine rolls down. Good. A few more times. So with your own breath, again, letting the breath guide the pace of the movement for you. As you start to move, as you move through these flowing back bends. And don't worry about pressing the hips up super high. It doesn't have to be the deepest bridge pose you've ever done. And then next time you come up, you can pause at the top. Keep breathing. Again, the pace is set. And then when you're ready, you can lower everything back down. And just pause. You can take the hands onto the front of the body. So one hand perhaps to the heart, one hand on the belly, or two hands on the belly. And then just gently sway the knees from side to side so you can keep the feet around hip distance apart. And you might like to let the knees drop or fall to the side as you breathe out. So breathing in, come through center. Breathing out, knees to one side. They don't even need to touch the floor. Good, and then one by one, just hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. And then set up to rest in Shavasana for the last few minutes. So sliding the legs out long. Letting the feet fall out to the sides, arms alongside the body. And start to let the regulation of the breath dissolve. You might like to sigh out the mouth a couple of times. Let the face soften. Just letting go of any desire to change the way you're breathing. So if you can stay longer in Shavasana, then that's always a good option. But if it's time to move on, then just gently start to move. And just preparing to sit up. You can roll to one side. The eyes can close when you get there. And we'll just sit together for a moment. Just as we began the class, noticing the quality of the breath just as it is in the body. Just bringing awareness infused with kindness, with receptivity to the breath. Okay. So thanks to everyone who practiced today with us. And thanks for continuing to support what we do at the Buddhist Center. It's really, really wonderful to know that you're all practicing or practicing in the future from wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in London or further afield. So one of the things I love about practicing yoga and practicing meditation within this context is what it offers me or what it allows me to do in the rest of my life. So this breath work, for example, you don't just have to do it when you're on your yoga mat. You can do it. You kind of take that tool with you anywhere. And I think it's a real gift actually to learn about yourself and to learn about your potential, to learn about the potential that you have to sort of change your relationship to your body, your relationship to yourself, to other people. And for me, that's part of the vision. That's part of why I support the London Buddhist Center. And if any of that resonates, if you value practicing with us, then we really do encourage you to sort of join in with our vision, join in with our culture of cultivating awareness, generosity, kindness. So, as many of you know, we are still mostly shut to the public, although we are starting to open again. But we're really reliant on donations to keep the centre running. So if you are in a position to give, if you feel able to contribute, then we really, really appreciate it. And there's details on how to do that underneath this video in the description. So as ever, really, really grateful for what you can give. Okay, so I hope you all enjoy the rest of your bank holiday Monday, and Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.